Welcome back to the Brew Crew podcast, everyone. This is episode 112, and Matt wipes back to front.
I gotta think about that. We've gotten into this conversation before. I know people that wipe between.
What? Oh, they go in between their legs
and
wipe their butt.
Yeah.
That's a far reach.
This became...
You gotta lean. You gotta do the lean.
Most people in this population of individuals that we were talking about, there was two in-betweeners, and that was a complete...
Two? Oh, wow. That's a lot.
This was in my 20s, so this was a complete foreign concept to me.
So
I didn't realize people did that.
Go in between, you have to wipe back to front in that situation. Yep. I don't see how you could wipe front to back.
You can't push, and then...
shitty balls, that's what they used to call them in my circles.
And the one guy... I can out him. It's Chuggalo Matt with one T.
Chuggalo Matt with one T.
So there's a couple guys that will listen that know him, and the best part is, I go, how do you not? The logical thing is, how do you not get it on your balls?
Yeah.
And he goes, I wipe until there's nothing on the toilet paper. So then he pulls it out and inspects it.
Oh, he inspects it. Yeah. I mean, when I lean, I look under, in between my legs or to see if the toilet paper's clean, because you have to wipe till it's clean. I mean, that's kind of everyone's rule, isn't it? You don't wipe until it's half clean.
I guess I'm,
But you're saying he wipes.
I guess then I'll out myself. I go then by a feel.
Oh, so you can feel that it's clean.
Yeah,
I generally can too.
Most of the time it's a one or two. Very rarely do I exceed
go
that.
More than that. Wow. Yeah, I go more than that. Got it.
I always worry that the toilet's going to clog or something.
Yeah, right. Well, sometimes you got a double flusher. You never know.
Because this conversation came from, are you a folder or a crumpler?
Oh yeah. Please tell me you're a folder.
No, I'm a crumpler.
How do you crumple with all of the meticulous attention to detail that you have in your life? And you crumple it.
I'm a hybrid, but I would say I'm a 70-30.
I'm willing to bet that there's a pattern to your crumbling in such a way over all these years that you're like, I imagine crumbling is just a ball.
Oh yeah, no.
Going in there, your fingers are all at risk of getting shitted on.
No. You make sure that
there's
the fingers are
just fold it. I just don't get it. Fold it or wrap it around your hand, and then it's a perfect.
Yeah, if I wrap around my hand, then I feel like I'm using way too much.
Well, yeah, no, I'm not saying use like a ton. Just how many squares do you think you use in one wipe?
Oh, it depends where I am. So at home we use we're a Charmin house. Mm-hmm. A dozen.
Maybe? A dozen squares per wipe?
Per attack. Definitely on the first one.
That's a lot of squares.
Definitely on the first one. I don't know. I guess I could...
you could try it out maybe during a break. Yeah. I think I'm sitting somewhere between
I'll count. I'll just...
5 and 8 squares per
go
wipe.
Like this, and I'll take it out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see how this crumple goes, because I've never seen that. I don't know how that works.
It's not...
It's like an organized crumble.
Yeah, an organized crumble. Yeah.
All right. Got it. Well, that's the start of episode 112.
Wow, we're off to a really shitty start.
I thought, yeah. I said, I told my wife this morning, I was like, I always try to come up with something clever to say first. And I told her this one, and she's like, yeah.
This one.
That's the one.
This one exceeds the wildest expectations.
There's a lot of conversation. When you're with people you're comfortable with, I've also been in, heated discussions about back to front to back, how you fold or crumble. So this is it's a hot topic.
Are women more apt to go front to back just because to continue the tradition?
Well, yeah, I guess maybe
because
I think everyone should go front to back. Personally, that's just my opinion.
No,
I don't know why you would.
That'd be odd.
You go back to front.
Trying to think,
and then you just make sure that you.
And I always lean the same way.
Stop before you get accidentally.
Because when you have to do that, the balls pull up anyways.
Yeah, it's true. But one slippery runway and your hand's gonna shoot forward, and it's just gonna get your.
Never bad. That bad. There's a lot of real estate there. The one thing that I will say is and you have seen the spectacle that is my bat wing.
Yeah.
I've never had a situation where I'm like, fuck, I just got shit on my balls.
No, yeah.
I've never. I can honestly say that.
Yeah, good.
Maybe when I've shit my pants, but not when I've not wiping.
Well, yeah.
There hasn't been a blue on blue crime in my pants when I've been wiping.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad there haven't been any incidents. That's my number one argument against it.
Yeah.
Is that, eventually we're going to get old. Things might start sagging a little more.
I'm more concerned with the balls hitting the toilet
Hitting the
water.
Yeah, me too. I'm concerned with that. I don't know how long that'll take, but a couple years maybe.
Yeah, let's hope more than a couple of years. Holy
Let's hope. Who knows? Okay. Beer news.
Don't disappoint me, JT. I hope that you cover this one story.
I have two stories. Okay. Yeah, I'm almost sure I'm going to cover it. One based on you saying that you hope I cover it. That'll be my second story. I want to start with this one. Evanston, Illinois. That's where Northwestern University is. There's a alderman or a councilwoman.
I can't wait to give you my Evanston, Illinois, and we didn't pre-plan this.
No.
Evanston, Illinois trivia.
Oh, I love to hear it.
That relates to this podcast.
So Northwestern University is there. I lived just north of there for a little while. Evanston. The reason why it's important that Northwestern is there, this alderman, I guess the story said alderman, but it was a woman, alderwoman. I don't think people say that, but councilwoman essentially is.
Yeah, what's her pronouns?
Concerned with the amount of outdoor drinking that's going on
on the
Northwestern campus. Now, living by University of Dayton, and I travel down Brown Street quite often, and there's a couple branch offs of Brown Street that include, the fraternities and the sorority houses. It's common to see people in their yards playing beer pong, playing flip cup, whatever. Well, this particular councilwoman specifically called out beer pong, and it has initiated a motivation to stop beer pong in outdoors. So the rule would be, I guess she wants to adopt something from like Vermont or something that if it's within sight of the street, you cannot do it. Now, I don't know. That just seems stupid. It's more like you can see people drinking, how the humanity is terrible. It's not that bad.
So, historically, I'm going to blow your mind. Historically, do you know why I'm not surprised that this comes from Evanston?
No.
Do you know in the city in which Prohibition started?
Was it Evanston?
Evanston,
I didn't
Illinois.
know that.
Did you know up until 1976, this is not pre-production, 1976, it was illegal to buy alcohol within the city limits of Evanston. 1976 was the last city in the United States. Any day of the week. Any day of the week.
But you can't buy... Can you purchase alcohol in the town that Jack Daniels is made?
So that's a dry county, but this is just a city.
This is just a city. Just the city. All right.
And
I didn't know that.
That far north. Yeah, 1976.
Wow. And their exposure to the problems that are caused by prolonging prohibition are so I don't know about in the 70s, but they're so top of mind because the whole Capone enterprise operated out of Chicago.
Yeah.
And it was like a big deal. A lot of people died.
Massive deal. But yeah, so when you said Evanston, which is ironic, I just learned that fact here yesterday. I was just, because it was talking about, and then, proof of alcohol, and then more getting into the booze side of it. But to think that, in the last 100 years that alcohol sales were banned in the United States for 12 years is...
Yeah, that's crazy.
Beyond me. That, you know what? Thank you for the Great Depression on that one, because people are like, we got to have fucking something.
We got to do something.
But that's
well. My take: don't do it. I think it's fine. There's no problem with people just having fun in their yard. You know that song "Hey Man, Nice Shot"?
Yeah, Filter.
What's the story behind that?
Robert Patrick.
Robert Patrick?
Yep.
That's the shot?
No, that's the lead singer in the...
Okay, I'd heard...
He started with 9 Inch Nails.
I'd heard somewhere that the story of that song is from, like, someone killed themselves in Evanston. I don't know if that's true.
Man, that I don't know.
The shot was someone was protesting something.
Yeah.
Abortion or something. And they shot themselves, I believe, and that's what the Hey Man, Nice Shot was because it worked. And there was a law changed or something. But I'd gone to a museum in Illinois, and there was something about a man who had protested and killed himself during the protest, and then someone who was near me said, that's what that song's about. and then told me what the song when they were talking about. And I was like, holy shit, that's crazy. I don't know if that's true.
That's
I'm gonna look it up later.
I mean, it's not, but
no, it's not. But I'm gonna look it up because
just
I'm
these
curious.
random spurs.
They're all intertwined.
Just crazy.
Second story.
Do you want to go a little bit east with your news on this story?
I want to go a little south with the news on this story.
Is it east? Is it more south than east?
It's
Anyways,
south.
continue.
Evanston is a north suburb of Chicago.
Oh, okay.
This one I'm going down into the city, the north side.
Yeah.
Where my good friend, who I don't know personally, but I consider a friend.
Probably a friend of the pod.
Also, we share a name, John Lester. He was released. Well, not released, but his what do they call that?
His option was not picked up.
The option for the Cubs was not picked up. And so as a thank you to the Chicago Cubs fans for, I don't know, what, 6 years?
6 years.
Of just joy and awesome pitching, he decided that he would team up with 3 bars on the north side of Chicago, pay for everyone's first Miller Lite.
Four bars.
4 bars. Okay, I thought it was
maybe one wasn't in the north side. Maybe I should.
No. I thought it was 3. I just read this story when it first came out, and then I read how much did he spend. He spent on Chicago beer drinkers at least 42. I think 47,000 was the final number. $47,000 buying everyone's first beer. What a wonderful guy, John Lester. Thank you.
It equated out to 4,838 beers, but it wasn't. So Smithworks was one of them. We've talked about Smithworks. I forget because I knew you'd have it.
Yeah.
But it was all Miller Lite, which is
all Miller Lite. Yeah.
Makes this Brewers fan heart warm. But and it wasn't in his words, it wasn't a goodbye. It was a see you later, because depending the salary cap, and we're very preliminary on this, and it's weird in a COVID year because you can't. There's a lot of intangibles there. I think he thinks he's going to be back.
It's possible he'll be back. I mean, the Cubs roster
at $22 million though, he wasn't.
No.
He was a luxury.
Yeah, you can't
with
do that.
A 5.1 ERA for the year.
At their 40-man roster is right now been cut to one of the lowest in baseball. I think they're at 31 now. 31 with all of the people that they didn't pick up and dropped. And their pitching staff is now down to 3.
Yeah.
Because Quintana and Lester are both free agents. So I think he'll probably be back, but I think it'll be as a 5-starter, and it'll be for a little bit of money.
Do you think, because when he signed his initial 5-year, 160 or whatever, that was a discount because he wanted to play for Chicago.
Yeah.
Do you get the feeling, because you have established him as at least an outer circle friend of JT's?
Yeah, outer circle.
Do you think that he gives Chicago a hometown discount? Or not a hometown, but I enjoy playing here. I enjoy not a lot of players shelling out, $47,000
right
to buy beer for fans.
I don't know. Yeah, I think
they posted all of these receipts too on his social media too. You can go out and check.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't, he tipped exorbitantly on these.
Good. He should. I think there are a few factors at play. One being Chicago, because I think he would consider a similar discount for Boston.
You think he would go back?
They seem like they're a train wreck right now.
Yeah.
But there's David Ross, great friend of his. He's coaching. I think he has a mutual respect between him and Theo Epstein. And I think there are other factors at play that would bring him back. Anthony Rizzo being one, and his charity. So yeah, I think he'd give a hometown discount. But I don't think that he would consider it a hometown discount. His hometown discount would be like the Rangers, I think. Can't remember where he's from. Maybe Oklahoma, maybe Texas, somewhere in there.
But anyway, it's a classy move.
But a hometown, I've played here discount, yeah.
Yeah. The one thing to rebound, Halloween was just this last weekend, and you're talking about my wife and I both, because we have a little one that will be 2 in December, we both put our drinks in the stroller and just walked up and down the street.
Nice.
And everyone chuckled, because usually we hand out, but being the COVID year or whatever, we didn't have any handouts. I know other people that, like Chuggalo Pete, had a cooler when he was handing out candy and, for parents or whatever.
Yeah.
But snap back to baseball. It just warms my heart, especially, it's helping out the servers and then, the fans, the people that really actually, go, especially in Chicago where it's a Cubs town, especially on the north side.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the sport that carries the town right now, you would say, right?
Yeah.
The team.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a weird dynamic in Chicago because, you feel like there's a division for all the summer, every summer, and then you forget about it when football starts, because then we're all Bears fans, and then you forget that there's this baseball division. So yeah, I think baseball's carrying the city right now just because of how good teams are.
Yeah,
but
because the White Sox are on a rocket ship.
Well, we'll see with that new coach they got.
Yeah. Well, new to the.
Oh yeah, new to the team. Well, not
even new to the team,
but new to the players.
He's a young guy looking to prove himself.
Here's a word to the wise. If you have one of the more prolific and outgoing, not outspoken, just outgoing black players on your team, and you hire a coach who's actively come out against the anthem protests, you probably are going to have to work that out in some way.
I wasn't aware that Tony La Russa did that. Came out against BLM or like.
Yeah, well, when Kaepernick was doing it, he was not a fan. Now, he said that his relationship with Reggie Sanders has changed some of his perspectives. Who knows whether that's just him posturing or whatever, or maybe it's true. But Tim Anderson is 100% one of the kind of the leaders of the black community in baseball.
Right.
And so you're going to have to reconcile that. Probably this hire was all Jerry Reinsdorf.
So this is Jerry Reinsdorf, who, especially during COVID, if the Chuggalos, if you watch the 10-part Bull series, it's very, very aware of his history, his place in the sport, both basketball, across the board. He is very socially aware. Is he trying to make amends for something that happened almost before we were born?
What happened? Just a firing?
Just a falling out, and then so he missed out because Tony La Russa went to win rings with two other franchises afterwards. Yeah. So he's like, I maybe can make amends, but then Tony La Russa, do you look as in a game that's driven by analytics now, numbers. Yeah. Tony La Russa is a Dusty Baker-esque, I'm going to coach with my gut.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be an old school, and there's not very many people left. There's people that are in that age echelon, like Joe Madden, very analytics.
Yeah, super,
So just to show you how archaic this is, Tony La Russa, his head of analytics for his last couple of years with the Cardinals, and he had a great run of success and a great farm system behind him, was a retired veterinarian. So he retired at 64. Tony La Russa got him to come out of retirement, and he retired as a vet to be his director of analytics. Wow.
Impressive.
And his job, his career for 40 years was veterinary sciences. I don't know. I'm not a vet. I did work for a vet database firm for a while. I don't know the transplant of skills.
No, I'm not sure. I don't think there's many. Nope, I'm not sure about that. I'd love to be the director of analytics.
Maybe he wipes back to front.
He brought or
front to back, either way.
Yeah,
side to side,
whatever way he wipes, who knows? But he's there. He's the coach now, and the analytics stuff is going to have a lot of argument against it this coming year because of the Blake Snell incident.
Yeah,
the World Series. But Tony La Russa, whatever. Maybe he gets some stuff done. I personally have been blaming him for years for creating what's called the baseball police in St. Louis. I think that was his doing. And the team that he's coaching right now, I think they're only going to be successful if you let them be who they are.
Right.
And if he tries to clamp down on no bat flipping and no showboating, I think that team's ruined.
Yeah,
he's got to lighten up.
If you go old school, I'm 100% in agreement with you. And the AL Central is making a bunch of confusing. I mean, look to Detroit. Detroit hired.
Got Hinch. Hinch is good at manager.
So
other than not controlling his team,
how much do you place on Hinch? I think they made Hinch look like a complete because he got that phone call 30 seconds after the last pitch in the World Series. It's documented. I can't wait for that movie to come out.
He got the phone call
for the Tigers 30 minutes after or 30 seconds after the last pitch.
Sense. That makes sense.
They called him up immediately. Detroit, there's a lot of things. That cupboard is empty. And you've got nothing on that roster besides a 48-year-old Miggy.
48.
Yeah,
might
who's
as well
got
be.
no knees
Might
and
as
one
well be.
shoulder.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what Detroit's going to do. They're going to be bottom dwellers for a while. But they need a GM. Build up that farm system.
Yeah,
That's how teams win.
Maybe Jim Leland is coming back. Who knows?
Gosh,
Just
that'd be nuts.
105.
Just let's get the combined age of all the baseball coaches to be like 1 million.
Yeah, let's just ramp it up. I'm trying to think of is Billy Bean still available?
He's still out there.
Billy Martin.
The
one I was thinking of.
Yogi Berra is still alive. Maybe he could come out. Oh, who's that other one? Tommy
Lasorda?
He's probably still around somewhere.
God, that is Dodgers one. After all the success and stuff that he had there, but
yeah,
crazy
Dodgers.
And as I get our first beer,
as you get our first beer,
something monumental happened this last week, JT.
Something monumental.
Yes.
Well, I just do want to point out before we cover this monumental news that Chris is tracking a deer. He's not here. In case you haven't noticed.
Yep.
He is stalking a deer. Finding it. He's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. If for those who are mole people, it's election day 2020. If shit hits the fan, well, guess what? Chris is going to have a whole deer.
Chris will
He'll
have
be fine.
a whole deer.
He'll be fine.
I'm just glad that I finally got my freezer this last weekend so I could stock up. But
that's good. Glad you stocked up.
It's important, imperative.
I did not.
So here's my monumental news. Do you have a guess?
Monumental news this last week.
And
is it beer related?
Yes, I did something.
Ooh, you did something.
I did something. We've brought it up on the pod.
Cracked something old.
I did. I cracked going to Hall's Corner Store.
Oh, you went to Hall's Corner.
I finally went to Hall's. So you got there.
Yeah,
I give you 85% credit.
That's a lot of credit. I would only give myself about 15.
You came in with maybe it's an inverse.
Yeah,
it's
maybe.
Front to back to front.
Yeah. Right.
So on Friday I was on hours. And I was like, you know what? I need to start stocking up for my trip up north coming up in a couple of weeks. And I've been on the search for the lemon meringue from Wolf's Ridge.
Yeah.
And I've only found 4 cans so far.
Well, that's good. I'll stop at Shell and find some for you. I'm sure they still have it.
So I went there to Hall's Corner Store here in Beaver Creek, a mile from my house.
Mm-hmm.
And it is an assortment. It's not a gas station. It is a corner store.
Yeah, it is a
drive-through. Most people that I was in there because I was in there for a while, the beer is just randomly.
It's just everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Yeah,
so it's
awesome.
It's slowly taking over. And I was talking to the owner for a little bit, and he went from 1 aisle to 2 aisles to like 2.5 aisles. So most people, I mean, he cuts his teeth on beer sales and lottery tickets.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get
you can
other.
See that when you
can
stay there for a minute.
You can get other vittles.
The 2 things that are being sold.
But those are the 2 things that are being sold. So I walked out with a smattering of course, he knew exactly what I was talking about with Wolf's Ridge.
Oh, wow.
If you listen to last week's episode, he's like, it's sold out. He goes,
wow.
I can't keep it.
How lucky were we to get that?
People come in searching for that beer.
Wow.
They didn't have any other Wolf's Ridge in. But they have. I saw your brony. I saw, and he's like, oh, you like sours because he's judging you when he buys.
Yeah.
Because he's trying to pitch you on other things.
Yeah.
And I go, if you would add something else to this, and I go, I will go buy it right now. And there was a line behind me, and I go, I'll wait. And he pitched me something else, so I went and bought that because I'm that type of guy. I have no problem doing that. But that is like Belmont Party Supply and how deceiving that place is.
Yeah,
I would
right.
have never stopped there before.
You would pass by and be like, yeah, craft beer, right? That's what it says on the door. They don't have that. Nope, they have it.
But
and it's everywhere. It's on the floor.
It's just randomly.
It's on the ceiling.
There's no happening. But he knows where everything is. Like if you come in, and he's very aware of his stock.
Mm-hmm.
But he's only 1 deep, and it's so when I went there were 7 vehicles in the parking lot. Like
that's crowded.
And I go, on that corner. It's not a busy corner. It's just crazy. So.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So anyways,
I don't think anyone's touched Wild Ohio at that store since I did.
It's top left.
Still there, top left.
Yep. Top left in the first cooler.
Yep, that's where it is. It's always been there.
I might, use it for target practice. That's about it. But there's no redeeming qualities.
So you enjoyed it is the key.
I'll be back.
Great place.
And
guy's awesome. Loves to talk beer.
Yep. And he had especially as we're getting into this time of year, he had a wonderful backstock of Bell's Two-Hearted Double.
Oh yeah.
Which is, I love Two-Hearted. But the double Two-Hearted is phenomenal.
It's king.
It's fantastic.
All right.
$18 for a 6-pack, but it's well worth it.
Worth it. All right, I'll keep that in mind.
But all right, let's get on to the beer segment. So I'm taking over for Cobra this week, which works out because I've got a backlog that I want to work through. This one comes from Chuggalo Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
This is another one in the Waconia series. This is Waconia Patio Pounder Pilsner. Comes in a crowler. 32 ounces. Still haven't found the fourth crowler, but I have the 3, so we had the one already on the podcast on episode 99. You can find out more from Waconia at waconiabrewing.com. And I'm just going to crack this gigantic can.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like a big can.
And it's
foamy.
It takes a lot of...
It's foaming at the mouth.
I'm going to get it. I'm pouring it like a complete asshole, so I can take that.
That's fine.
Let her calm down. Let her
rip.
So this is right. So little stats about this is it's going to be one of our lighter beers. It's a 3.9.
Oh wow!
So for a Pilsner, it's even light.
Yeah, it's pretty light.
It was canned on the 7th of July, and Pilsners, you're not worried too much about freshness. Let me try to top you off here.
It smells a little like silly putty.
Silly putty, interesting. And the one thing
I know that Pilsners have that smell, so I'm not judging it on that.
And if you remember Dave's first beer, Chuggalo Dave's first beer that he submitted on the podcast was, do you remember?
The first that he ever submitted on the podcast.
It was, there was something with the can. He submitted it specifically for the can art segment.
Oh, well.
If you
I'll remember it when you tell me.
Ruthie. Remember Ruthie?
Yeah, Ruthie.
From Exile?
Ruthie, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So anyways, that was episode 88. And it's a great listen as JT does a really good job of bloviating about it. And Chuggalo Dave supplied us with a lot of the history on why that Ruthie can is monumental. Well, anyways, they've now, because of breast cancer awareness, Exile has put that Ruthie into pink receptacles.
Oh.
So,
all right.
Which makes sense. You know, Ruthie was a pioneer in the bartending and the beer scene in Iowa. So it's nice that they're honoring her. I don't think she has any attachment to cancer. Hopefully not. But just the fact that she's a powerful female in that in the history of it.
Mm.
Wow, this is for being a lighter at a 3.9 Pilsner. This is, and again, it's Patio Pounder Pilsner.
Patio Pounder.
I love that alliteration.
Yeah, it's good.
And I'm just a big fan of it.
PPP.
Yeah, alliteration and palindromes are two of my favorite.
Yeah, this beer hits like a bigger beer.
We can pull this over here. So
okay. Yeah,
it does hit like a bigger beer.
This hits like a bigger beer. It's got a lot of flavor for a 3.9. Holy crap!
This is shocking.
I'm actually thinking about challenging that 3.9.
Chuggalo Dave, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this beer. After I haven't looked up because you're very active on Untappd too. So I'm glad I didn't because wow, I wasn't expecting this.
Yeah. My initial reaction, I had a bunch of foam as my first sip. And, it was hoppy. It tasted like hoppy. And I was like, wow, this is a Pilsner? This is crazy. But then when you get to the actual liquid, it's a little different. The can art boner segment brought to you by Dave. Not much to talk about. It's a crowler. A lot of times you get these crowlers at the breweries, and they put their typical label on it, and then they'll either write in what you've got, what you've ordered, or this place has a sticker, which is kind of cool. It's just 3 pint glasses with light beer and maybe that's an actual picture of the Patio Pounder Pilsner, but it's probably just a generic beer picture.
Say that 5 times fast.
I can't.
Okay.
Patio pounder Pilsner, patio pounder Pilsner, patio pounder Pilsner, patio pounder Pilsner, patio pounder Pilsner. I can't. Almost got it.
You almost got there.
Almost got it. And that wasn't very fast. That was kind of cheating. There's a sailboat, and we've talked about this. I don't think I need to go too far into it.
Check out episode 99.
Yeah. And so that's Waconia. Waconia. But this beer, okay, so that's the can out boner segment. Sorry, Dave, just wasn't too, not too much going on. That's okay. Flavor.
This is shocking.
This beer definitely surprised me. I was expecting a typical Pilsner. Not disappointment or anything, but not this. This has a very hoppy feel to it. This could be like a cross between, this could be like a Pils IPA. I don't know if that's a thing, but it's got a hoppiness to it. There's a bitterness on the back when you're breathing out, after you're done drinking it.
Like an IPP, an India Pale Pils.
Ooh, I like that. IPP.
Are you done with the IPP?
No, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
That's a perfect setup. And when you really kind of focus in on those flavors, I can't pinpoint what they are, but they're good. It's a lot smoother than it pretends to be at first. I know that sounds weird, but when you first drink it, you're like, this is a harsh beer. But as you get more into it, it's actually pretty smooth. It's just got that bitter aftertaste. And I actually don't think that's a bad thing. It's sitting there. I don't feel like I had a bad yeasty Pilsner. I feel like I've had, I don't really ever claim to understand what Matt's talking about when he says earthy. But if I had to pick a word to describe this beer other than smooth, it'd be earthy. It tastes pretty earthy. And I can't nail down. Maybe pine, maybe, I don't even know what. It's just earthy. It just tastes like earth.
So you've got 20% of the Captain Planet right here.
Yeah.
Earth right here.
Yeah. There's no fire. Maybe some wind. Definitely water in every beer, right?
Is there a heart?
There's always heart. Well, I'd say that some beers don't come with heart.
No.
You can tell. They were throwaways. Man, what do I give this beer?
I can't wait for the juxtaposition between this and the second beer.
Oh yeah, is it going to be creamy?
Well, I mean, we're going from just not just a Pils, but a Pils. So
this as a 3.9.
Pils is a wonderful setup.
I could bring this to a cookout and just keep drinking them all day.
But if somebody picked up your can,
they'd be like, man, this guy's drinking hard as hell right now. Yeah, like he's going to get hammered. No, you're not. This is man, what do I give this beer? I really like it. Gosh. It's up there. I'm just trying to... I can't think of anything that would make it better because it's so unique. Mm-hmm. Like I don't want you to change anything about it. But as far as like where does it stand on the scale, I'm going to say 4.5. It is very good. Is it a perfect beer? Maybe this exact combination of ingredients is perfect for this exact combination of ingredients. But where does it stand on my scale? 4.5. I would drink this beer quite often. Quite often. I would definitely bring this to a gathering where I'm going to have a bunch.
Right.
And I could be the slower to get drunk, which is always my goal. I don't want to be the first drunk. But this beer drinks like a heavier beer.
It's not often, and we're both going to have this in common. It's not often that our scores exceed the alcohol content.
Yeah,
of the
that's
beer.
True. That's
it's
a very
rare, just meeting conglomeration off the top rope.
Great point.
I'm at a 4.25. I vacillated between a 4 and a 4.25. The beauty of this beer is how unique it is. Like, I opened it, I was like, it's a Pilsner, it's been sitting there, Chuggalo Dave gave this to us for a reason. I know his wife picked this up for us, but I think that she was under clear instructions to pick up certain things.
Yeah.
This is something, I could go and give an older traditional drinker and be like, you know what, I'm going to knock your socks off.
Definitely.
And they're going to be like, oh, I just drink, I drink the old standards or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, okay, this is a Pilsner. And I think this is going to shock them. I can show them on the can.
Mm-hmm.
And, most people aren't going to know that, Bud's a lager and Miller Lite's a Pilsner. But just be like, hey, this is a hyped up Miller Lite.
Mm-hmm. But
Miller Lite's alcohol content exceeds this by a considerable amount.
I can't believe it.
So, the beauty in this beer is the complete uniqueness. And as JT says, is it a perfect beer? No, but it's tough on a 3.9 because you're not relying on you're going to get a buzz or whatever. But this is a great sustaining beer. And the nice thing is you could buy this from Waconia as a crawler and just sit here and pound these all day.
Thing. Yeah.
Just sit there and you're going to have so much credit amongst the people that you choose to associate with and drink with or whatever.
Yeah.
So in that respect, it's a perfect beer in that respect. In the whole landscape of beers, which, we've asked late, is it not? But a 4.25 and a 4.5 is extremely respectable in just a Pilsner.
Yeah, I mean, I had an expectation going in.
Yeah.
When you said Pilsner, I think you did. Everyone does.
Oh yeah.
And this is whether it exceeds or just steps sideways from your expectations. It definitely doesn't just meet them.
Yeah. And the one flavor profile I will say is I think what they did with the malt here is they didn't work it down enough, so it still has the high points and the robust flavor profile, so it's not mellowed out. So malt building the body in the beer. This has got a karate chop to it.
Yeah, it does. There's some. I mean, the taste in the back of my throat right now after finishing this beer maybe 3 minutes ago. It's the same feel and bitterness as when I drink a coffee.
Yeah. But you have a Miller Lite. It
tastes like a coffee.
You have a Miller Lite. It's gone. You don't have that.
Yeah, it's gone. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Chuggalo Dave. This is. I mean, what was the Ruthie was up there? What was the other Waconia beer? I know it was episode 99 that we covered Waconia, but
I'll have to look it up later.
All right. Well, I've got another one.
Got another one.
Another beer. This comes from Chuggalo Ryan.
Oh, Chuggalo Ryan.
So Chuggalo Ryan
back on top.
When he was out in his adventures, he's much like you, JT, and Chuggalo Caterade.
Nice.
They take their kids to breweries when they go around and are.
It's only fair.
Much better than me. This was one that was out on his journey. This is Space Force from Hop and Barrel, and you can find out more about Hop and Barrel from hopandbarrel.com, and they're out of Hudson, Wisconsin, which. If you're good with maps or if you're not good with maps, it's just over the border from Minneapolis, St. Paul into Wisconsin. It's the first thing. If you take the giant bridge over, you're going to run into Hudson, Wisconsin. It's about 20,000 people. So their take, because this is the first time we've done Hop and Barrel, is their, quote, a modern approach to classic beers. And I like that. You go to their website. These are just friends that came together. All of them started with home brewing kits. I know, if you listen to the episode when we're at Crooked Handle, Jason started in his garage. Well, these individuals, they all started separately, but just buying home brewing kits, and relatively recently, in 2014, 2015, and they all came together. One of the co-brewers is a Cicerone certified. He's the only hoity-toity pretentious. Everyone else is just blue-collar. That's just the feeling that I get. So, again, you can go to hopandbarrel.com and check that out. But what we're drinking today is Space Force, and it's a 8.5 double India Pale Ale. So we're going from a Pils that's a 3.9. I should have, had I been thinking a little bit more, I should have went from
maybe the other way
3.9 to a 20% beer.
Oh,
just
I see.
Just
to
really
go crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that 3.9's gonna. I don't think it drank light enough to trick us.
To do that juxtaposition.
Yeah.
I'm going to try that. That's going to be my goal here. Stay tuned, Chuggalos, and if you can help me out, suggest things that aren't Wild Ohio, maybe like a 2-point something, and then I've got like a 7-year aged 120 minute.
Yeah, that's going to do it.
But let's go with the crack.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Excellent. Oh.
All right. This is the Can Art bonus segment brought to you by Ryan.
Ryan.
So you go on a lot of journeys, Ryan, and you find this beer in Hudson. And I want to know about these journeys. Where else do you go?
Well, Oliphant.
Oliphant, yeah.
So that was 4 exits down. Somerset, just to the west, is, you go through about 5 miles of cornfields, and then you're in the metropolis of Somerset. Somerset's about 2,800 people.
Okay.
So we're going up in population from Ryan. But Ryan drinks all over that part. It's the part of Wisconsin no one thinks about. It's the northwestern part. It's opposite of Madison, Green Bay, and Milwaukee.
I think about it.
Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome. So this Can Art, minus the words, the Space Force hop thing on the back there, has a very wallpapery feel to it because the gentleman, skeleton astronaut, he's repeated several times throughout the can in different orientations, and that's kind of like a very wallpapery type of thing. And in the background, there's a hop plant, and it's just kind of sprinkled throughout. Cool dark blue can. The astronaut, it's a skeleton, or skull at least. We don't know what the body looks like. Can't see it. But he's in a space suit, and he's drinking a beer. I'm not sure why you'd have an open beer with a closed space suit, but I imagine that maybe he's sharing his beer with the space. I don't know. But his beer is open, and it's floating into space.
You're right. That ruins the realism of this can.
Yeah, but he's got a closed mask on, and he's a skeleton, so he can't really drink anyway. I think he's just a confused astronaut. Probably it's the lack of air is affecting his brain. And so can you decompose in space? Like if you died...
No, because there's no air.
You just float around as your normal...
Yeah, you're frozen.
You're frozen, okay.
And so that inhibits the decomposition because you're relative zero.
So you just go. All right, cool.
Absolute
Good
zero.
to know. So Space Force, that's the name of this beer. I'm not sure how... So you talk about the word juxtaposition. This is a poor one. No offense to the brewers, but Space Force is, at least in current... Maybe this beer was made 10 years ago. But Space Force is a military branch of the United States Armed Forces, and this person who's in the spacesuit there's no indication that he's part of the United States military.
Why is it a he?
He or she is part of the United States military. There's no indication that this person is in any organized military, and there's no real mention or sign of the Space Force, other than the fact that there's a skull in a spacesuit. So what's the force? I don't know. Not sure.
Interesting.
So the can art and the name, they have the match because there's space, but they don't really go together. Hop and Barrel, I kind of like the name of the brewery, Hop and Barrel Brewing Company. Other than that, on the back they have this descriptor. And they say anyone can do a double dry hopped IPA. Pretty much anyone can. It's not illegal. You're within your legal rights, your constitutional rights to do it if you so choose. But not every brewery can craft one that's so elite that it's fit to hold the moniker Space Force. Again, just total contrast with the can art. If I was doing this at this point in the game, can art should be some like Navy SEAL, or Army Green Beret type dude, just in a spacesuit fighting aliens or something. I don't know, or maybe wrestling a satellite or something cool. If you really want to make the joke, because the Space Force has kind of been laughed at a lot, and you can laugh at it, But in this particular case, I just don't get it. A myriad of classified hops. That's the only tie to the U.S. military that I've seen so far. So classified hops make this beer taste like it comes from another galaxy. Multi-sweet, but bitter enough to know you're drinking beer, not a fruit juice. The only full-flavored double dry hop DIPA that can live up to its name. The only one that can live up to its name.
Bold
statement.
Like space.
All right, so that's the Can Burner segment brought to you by Ryan. Thanks, Ryan. Tell us about those exploits you do. I'm in complete agreement that kids, if it's before 9 p.m., you can bring your kids to the brewery. I don't care what they say on the Dayton Beer Geeks.
I know. I feel super guilty.
Yeah, well, in the current environment with COVID, it's outside anyway.
Your boys,
but yeah, my kids
are in the top 1% of well-behaved.
Thanks.
Aren't gonna run around and throw. No, they're amazing kids.
Thanks.
So you are blessed.
I don't think your kids.
I will not take my rapscallions out to a brewery.
You should.
I love them, but
all right.
That's why That's why we built a bar.
But that's the thing, that if you're a brewer, like I was thinking about this the other day. Okay, Chris said we're going to Crooked Handle. Can you go? And I said, well, I have family. I can't go. But I thought, if I did, let's say I went with Chris. We went to Crooked Handle. My kids have XYZ food. They're going to ask me to go back to Crooked Handle like 1,000,000 times a week. And eventually I'm going to say yes. But if I just go by myself, I'm going to be like, well, Springboro is kind of far. Maybe I'm not interested. But you should want the kids to go and eat your food, your delicious food.
Yeah.
Because eventually we're going back. It's actually a good marketing tool.
My 4-year-old loves going to the bar because she associates that time with her grandparents.
Oh, yeah.
So Chuggalo Todd and Grandma, because she gets a kitty cocktail.
Love kitty cocktails.
And they treat the kids there amazing, but my father-in-law has that credit built up because he goes every Friday. And my mother-in-law goes every Friday.
Yeah.
So the kids get the reciprocated feelings of how they treat them.
Yeah. Well,
and that just goes, you take care of your waitstaff.
Bad news for your kids, between the ages of 21 and maybe 40, they're not going to treat you like that. You have to, the established...
Oh, yeah, they
Chuggalo Todd, he's known.
Oh, yeah,
he's known, and they respect him.
Yeah.
They don't respect people under in our age group or younger.
So that's
you're getting there. We're getting there.
You're bringing up so in the town where my family is from. Anytime I've gone there and they ask who you're related to, because the town is 2,800 people, so I'm carrying that namesake. Yeah. So I feel more in debt. Even when I didn't have nothing, I was like, I don't want to sully my family's name, so I'm always giving more. The service is whatever. It's a small town bar, and there's a lot of them in Wisconsin. But I always felt like I need to be like, hey, I want to change that stigma. Like, oh, fuck, it's another 22-year-old. I'm gonna get rounded up to the next dollar.
Yeah.
So,
I get it.
I know when my grandma passed away, and this was a few years ago, I bought the bar around.
Wow.
So it costs a little bit of. It costs a little bit, but it's like, that, and last names are different or whatever.
But you're not going to change their opinions on 20-something-year-olds or whatever.
But I'm gonna try. Maybe that's just me. I tried. Other people maybe not. And I have a lot of character flaws, but that's one thing I want to do is if it's good service or if it's unique or there's something like that leaves me like, I always will plus up that stuff.
No, I try to do the same. I always tip well. I'm always polite.
You are a very overly polite. Not overly. That sounds contrarian, but. You are an extremely polite and approachable person, and you can see it like in your eyes. Like if somebody comes to your table or whatever, you're engaging. It's not like you're just looking at your menu, but like, The only time the only time I've ever seen it is don't serve him green peppers. That's the only thing.
Yeah, that's it.
I just don't want green peppers.
I don't want.
But after that, engaging eye contact.
Yeah. I try.
You're talking to Marcia, or I
try to be nice, and I always tip well. I don't know where the whole 20% tip thing came from. We could have a whole show about tipping.
Yeah.
But because of guilt over all these years, and I think there's just been this narrative that's the only appropriate way to tip. That's what I do now. And you know what? It's fine.
Does it start with 20% for you?
Yeah.
So that's where you start.
I rarely go less. I rarely go less, and I rarely go more. I do 20%. That's pretty much.
Do you figure
I just
it out?
read it into the.
If it's $89, what are you tipping?
If it's $89, I'm tipping. Let's see, $17-$18 somewhere in there. Yeah. What are you tipping on that?
So I tipped a service. So the reason why I brought up $89
kills me.
What's guilt?
Guilt kills me.
No. Oh.
The guilt of just years of shitting on wait staff.
So.
And there are generations of people who think that if you get shitty service, you should leave a penny to tell them they were shitty. You know? Like, that's their message. That's a message. You're leaving a message for somebody who makes $4 an hour.
So my grandpa didn't believe in tipping. But he came
I don't believe in it either. But I'm doing it as long as we have it in this country.
He wouldn't do it.
Okay, that's different. I think we should go away from it.
And later in life, when I would take my grandparents out, like any good grandson should do, when I would take them out to eat or whatever, I would make sure I would leave money.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I'm picking up the check. My dad doesn't like doing it, and maybe 10% or whatever.
I don't like doing it either.
So we always.
But I do.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
I have so many opinions on tipping.
You're saying, well, that's what this is for.
Yeah. We're going to talk about it for sure. So your dad doesn't, and your grandpa doesn't like it. Or your grandpa doesn't do it. Your dad doesn't like it.
Yeah. So my dad doesn't like it and is terrible at it. Maybe 10%.
Okay.
And we'll argue with my mom, and it's really, really awkward. So I'll always throw down extra money because even if we're in another state and it's never going to come back on us, I will still do it because I feel like, especially when they exceed service, if they suck, you're going to get shortchanged. I'm sorry that you will get up a little bit, but I'm not going to do the penny thing. That's
no. Never do the penny thing. That's fucked up.
So
let's just go with that. It's fucked up.
So the last time I was out for a meal in a tipping situation, the lady came to our table, spilt 2 glasses of water all over me. And that's fine. That doesn't affect your tip.
It happens.
Shit happens. I've got 5 minutes of fucking comedy material. The cocktail napkins need to go.
Yeah.
When you run out with like 3 of those, those aren't absorbing my fucking average loogie, much less the pint glasses that you're coming out full of ice water that you were happy to deliver. Where this lady screwed up, and I still tipped her because I picked up the bill because it was my wife and my in-laws, and we went out for breakfast. Was she didn't know anything on the menu. She wasn't prepared, and then they came. My mother-in-law ordered quinoa, and they're like, "Oh, we had a busy quinoa day yesterday, so it's not going to be prepared for the next 3.5 hours."
What? If you had a busy quinoa day yesterday, then you're going to have a busy quinoa day every day.
And I'm sorry that you have to eat this shit sandwich, and it's on the back end staff. She still got tipped, but convey that to the just.
The tip is all from my perspective. The tip is always going to the wait staff, never going to the restaurant. Maybe the cooks. I don't know.
Yeah,
but I'm never thinking I'm tipping this restaurant. If you're a restaurant and you're taking some of that tip, fuck you.
Yeah,
go eat shit.
They make them split it with the back end staff. It depends.
I wish to pay them less. Right?
I wish they would advertise that.
Yeah, they should advertise that. You should always tell your customers when you're paying your cooks nothing, because that's fucked up.
Yeah.
I have so many opinions on tipping. I don't want to tip. I think tipping should go away. I think you should be good at your job because you want your job.
Right.
Not because you're going to get a better tip. I'm good at my job because I go into work every day and want to keep my job. So I go in and I say, I'm going to work hard I'm going to keep this job.
Spoiler alert, Chungalos, JT's really good at his job.
I'm not that good. Wait staff, you should just be good at your job. Maybe it's not the ideal job. Maybe you want a different job. Work up to it, whatever. But I hate tipping. I fucking hate it. I never know who to tip. I never know how much to tip. I don't know if I'm supposed to tip the guy who fucking cuts my lawn, which no, I do that. But in a situation where
I wouldn't tip that
I'm
asshole.
just saying, like, I hire somebody to do something. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to tip them. I wish in America we would get rid of tipping like they did in Europe. Pay the people, charge a little extra for the food. Now, having said that, I do hate tipping, but I feel guilty. I know that there's a lot of wait staff out there, and I try to read the people who are serving me. And a lot of times, they're people who, sometimes you get like the older lady. This is her career. This is what she's been doing for 20 years.
Pine Club.
Yeah, Pine Club. That's a good example. Waffle House typically has older wait staff. Or you go to somewhere like a steakhouse, like, the chain steakhouses, like Texas Roadhouse. Yeah. And they're like young people who are just earning extra money before college or whatever. And they don't need it as much, but they're going to be the ones who complain about it. So anyway, I always start at 20%, but my grandpa taught me, here's how you should tip. This is how tipping worked in America throughout the 50s, 60s through the 90s. No tablecloth, and you have to order at the counter. That's 10%. That's a 10% tip.
Wow. Okay.
There's
I want to write this down. I didn't know these.
To tipping. These are real rules my grandpa taught me. So if you order at the counter and there's no tablecloth, 10%. If you order at your table, no tablecloth, like a Denny's, 15%. If there's a tablecloth and you order at your table, 20%. That's the starting point for all those different. Never lower than 10, typically never more than 20. That's what my grandpa taught me. After that, I thought, okay,
I love it.
I went to Waffle House on Thanksgiving and I tipped 50% or more. I think maybe 70% because it was Thanksgiving and this lady was super nice. So there are exceptions to the rule. You're just going to do it. But I wish we could just pay more for food and never tip again.
I am with you. I had so many thoughts, but I agree. I would pay a premium to just not tip, or the restaurants that are like, hey, please don't tip or whatever. Most of the time now, because my wife was in the industry for a long time, and I'll pick up the check most of the time, but I always have her because I have her in the back of my head, because she'll look, if the service was shitty, and she'd be like, yeah, you tip too much. Yeah,
Caterade, I try to make Caterade do the paying. Yeah. Because I'll tip on nothing. Yeah. Like if
So the women are more brutal in our lives.
If I'm at the checkout and I'm picking up, a pizza from wherever, and there's a line for tip, I'll put $1 in there because I feel too bad.
Oh yeah, no fuck.
And Katie will just say, "Nope, I'm picking this shit up. I'm not tipping. Fuck that." And I'm just like, I can't do it.
We are in 100% agreement. So I can't remember the last time that I had pizza delivered to the house. So we've been here 7 years. Stacy said it's happened one time when I couldn't go get it. I will purposely go pick up food because I hate tipping. I hate delivery fees.
Yeah, I hate it all.
Because it's something that you're not willing to do. I will gladly go. Yeah. Like, we just had pizza this last weekend. I went and picked it up. No tip.
But then I'll dwell on it. We got Euros in Beaver Creek, and they had the tip line. And
Chicago
for some
Euros
dumb
and dogs?
fucking reason, I put a tip in there.
Chicago
and
Euros
I was
and
at
dogs?
the restaurant. No, it was a different place.
In Beaver Creek?
Maybe it was Dayton, by the Dayton Mall. I don't know. There's 2 Euro places we go to. The Chicago Euros and Dogs is way better.
It's fantastic.
Than the one that I'm talking about.
Rachel Ray is 100% right. Chicago Euros and
Nailed
Dogs
that.
is
100%.
Nailed that. It used to be right down by your place.
They moved?
Yeah, it used to be
It used to be across from the highway from the green.
No, it's there.
It's there, okay.
But it used to be down by Kramer's. Like a couple blocks from Kramer's. Yeah, it was just a
man.
small mom and pop shop.
Kramer's is phenomenal. If you guys get the chance to go get Kramer's pizza, it's all real cheese, real sauce, everything. It's great pizza.
I like this.
But the Euros, they're good.
I like the vibe that we have going because it's just, we're just riffing on fucking society.
Just whatever. The last point about tipping.
No,
I have
great material.
Yeah, we can go a million more points. I have aggressively taken the bill and paid it because I knew the person who was offering to pay would not tip well.
Wow.
I've done that.
You wouldn't just leave extra money? Or like because you didn't have cash, all you had was plastic on you?
Yeah, so typically I'd say like you pay, like if I feel like the person who's paying is going to tip poorly, I'll say I'll take the tip, you take the bill, then we're even. And I tip really well. But in some cases, and I know he doesn't listen, so like my dad, for example, my grandpa taught me this. His dad.
Yeah.
But he doesn't follow. My dad doesn't follow the same fucking rule. If I feel like my dad's not going to tip well, I will just pay for everything myself because I think I can't walk out of here with the like 8% tip my dad's about to leave.
So
I just wouldn't feel good about it.
Ever since I moved to Ohio, I think I've picked up every check that I've ate with my parents.
Yeah.
My father-in-law and I, it turns into a fun fight. I hope he listens to this, too, because I'm going to embarrass him in front of the national audience that we have.
Yeah.
So one time we went out to eat. Usually we try to negotiate. I get to pick it up tonight. You get to pick it up tonight.
Yeah.
This time it was.
Or you bought groceries, so I'll get dinner out.
Yeah. So it's a fun fight. No one gets, but it's a fight nonetheless.
I usually get.
And we're at his Friday haunt, and he goes, "I'm going to pick it up," and drops his card on the table, goes to the bathroom, and the waitress beats him back and says the card's declined. I go, "Oh, I had mine."
Oh, no way.
He will eat that crow. I think it happened 2 or 3 years ago. He will eat that the rest of his life, that his card got declined. My mother-in-law
That's probably the most
and him
embarrassing thing that can happen to you.
They were because they're locals. They were furious. They went home and they're like, "We have no idea why it was declined.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with your card. You have oodles of money in there. Oodles is it's a financial.
Yeah, I've heard that.
It's more than $100 and less than $10 billion. It's in there.
There's almost nothing more embarrassing that can happen to you than getting.
But he was in the bathroom, so
publicly,
he didn't.
Publicly.
But the fact is, I got to pay for it.
You got to pay.
Oh yeah. So like when we've taken them to Pine or Paragon Club or whatever,
like
I always get to pick it up or whatever. But it's fantastic because it's a fight. Like we've thrown each other's cards before. It's a fun fight.
Wow. That's quite the fight. Yeah. I have yet to take any of my family to Pine Club or Paragon. I haven't been to Paragon.
Oh, Paragon's so good.
Sounds good.
Take the boys there.
All right.
Because there's enough of a diverse menu. The bigger area you can get in. So you went, hypothetically, you go to Pine Club.
Yeah.
It might be a 3 hour.
You wait an hour 45, yeah.
Paragon, you can make reservations.
Oh, okay.
There's other kids in there.
Okay.
Some of them not as well behaved. Most of them not as well behaved as the offspring. I would, if my girls were your son's age and as well behaved, we would be going there more frequently.
Oh wow, okay.
I love it.
Well, that's a good tip.
Same quality of food for a bigger menu.
Oh, okay.
100%. Same effect.
Same effect and everything.
Yeah.
Wow. Where is it?
Just off Deep Centerville, like south.
Oh, okay.
Not the first exit as you're going to the second one is at 42. No, whatever the
All right, I got you. So nothing more embarrassing than getting your card declined. That hasn't happened to me. But maybe someday.
Yeah.
Maybe someday I'll get my card declined, and my son will buy everything.
Things to reach for. Yeah, the last time I was drinking with my old man, I will always pick up because I'm just indebted to my dad for the rest of my life. But he came to the table. I was so proud. I had everything ordered and everything. He goes, you know, I don't drink draft beer. Fuck. And I do know. I did know that. Yeah, I did know that.
Instead, just bottles.
Bottles. He gets, and my dad drinks a lot. He gets headaches.
Oh,
from draft beer.
Wow.
So then he was bottled the rest of the night, but he had to drink. Yeah. It was, a tall.
You could have taken it.
I wasn't going to double fist that, but he would drink it. The last time he drank, draft beer was for my graduation party and my return from a deployment. It was 2007.
Wow.
And we didn't float the keg the night before. So the next day, as a family, we played board games out in their garage. Mm-hmm. Or their shed. It's a big pole barn.
Sure.
And he goes, we need to float this keg. And I go, well, you need to help out. And so he had to drink quite a bit. And he had a bad headache the next day.
Bad headache. Well, I mean, some people call that a hangover.
No.
This is just from the air.
It's just
from the whatever's in the beer. Okay, fair enough.
Bad
All right. Space Force. Let's get back to it.
Wow! I didn't even give...
We did the can art boner.
Holy buckets.
I've already finished this can. I don't remember a whole lot of... No, I remember everything about it. So they talk about bitterness. It's not as bitter even as the Pilsner we had. That was 3.9. This beer is really smooth, really light for an IPA. A double dry hopped double IPA. It's actually pretty good. As far as their claim to not being fruity, it's not. It's not fruity at all. It's beer. It's hops. It's an IPA, and that's what you're getting. If you want the taste of an IPA, get this beer. It's actually pretty good. It's better than the can art. What's my score? I should have already worked this out, but I was too hyped up on tipping.
That was... I forgot that we didn't even give scores.
There was a little bit in there. I mean, oh yeah, I remember now. This beer does bleed alcohol. It's an 8.5, right? Yeah, 8.5. It's much... maybe it's because we had this really light alcohol Pilsner, but you're basically breathing out alcohol. Space Force, 3.5.
Amazing. So off the top rope...
Very good cold, though. Ice cold, pretty good.
Ice cold. So off the top rope, I gave it also a 3.5. I don't want to dwell too long. The one sentence is malty sweet. I get that, but bitter enough to let you know you're drinking a beer, not a fruit juice. It's 100%. My can is empty, and it's rolling at the back of like my epiglottis. It's rolling just robust bitterness.
Really?
I
got more bitterness out of the Pilsner.
It's been sitting there, but I just posted my comment, and I feel like this is important. So there's multiple Space Force double IPAs out on the market right now. So Chuggalo Ryan gave this a 4.0, and he said it's a strong, hoppy, smooth, very nice IPA. I'm ready to join the Space Force.
Oh, well, you're always welcome in the United States Space Force.
Right.
We need more members.
So to give you a little insight on Chuggalo Ryan, who I'm going to see very soon.
Yeah.
Chuggalo Ryan is 6'2", and he's an offensive lineman, so he's about 310. So that's
perfect for the Space Force.
Perfect for,
we can elongate the lifetime of your joints.
Yeah.
By putting you in space.
Yeah. His calves are like my thighs. He's just because he's a track and field and football coach, so it's just amazing. But
chicks love calves.
Oh yeah,
never skip leg day. That's a fact.
His wife, Chuggalo Ryan's wife, is the
Ryan's wife.
Say that 5 times.
Her name is Chuggalo
Michelle. Is the all-time blocks and rebounds leader for the college that his wife and I went to the same college. Chuggalo Ryan went to the same college that my wife did.
Wow.
So just swapsies.
And she's the leader in blocks and what?
Rebounds.
All right. So clearly basketball.
Yeah, clearly basketball.
There's no other rebounds.
Yeah. So no, he definitely outkicked his coverage because he's a handful in more ways than one, ladies.
He's a handful.
All right.
Thank you,
Chuggalo Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Wow, there's a lot of meat on that bone.
Yeah, there was a lot there.
That was a Thanksgiving dinner.
I was worried after the first beer that we didn't talk enough about random shit.
We talked
about random shit in the second beer. That's for sure.
Okay, so segment 3, Chuggalos, get ready.
Okay, segment 3.
So this was going to be a game, but we're going to tune it up. And I'm just going to see how many beers JT can name.
All right. At least one.
Here's the gimmick.
Okay.
JT, are you ready?
Yeah.
Play along at home, and in a couple of weeks...
See if you can beat me.
Chuggalos. Yeah, see if you can beat JT.
You can.
It's not going to happen. He's pretty good at this.
Yeah.
In pre-production, I gave him 19 of these beers. So
yeah, I got them all right.
Okay, the 25 most important American beers of all time.
Oh, shit. I've already failed.
Okay.
I can feel myself failing.
Is it America? Not. Where do you fail at? The?
Yeah.
25?
I think it's the beer part.
So you can do the...
You know what? I like
the 25 most important American dildos of all time.
I can do that. I like the whole thing. It's the trivia part that I fail at.
There's no trivia in there. I didn't say trivia.
Yeah, it's just the fact that it is trivia. I will freeze up and get it wrong.
Okay. So don't dwell.
But let's figure it out.
Don't dwell on light or anything like that.
I'm gonna zone in, or hone in.
Okay, ready. If you would say American beers of all time,
American beers,
and let me give you a little bit of background. I'll just say, with more than 8,000 breweries operating in the United States, it's easy to take beer for granted.
It is
Easy to forget that there was a time when you couldn't choose from a hearty selection of lagers, IPAs, stouts, sours. Are sours at your local grocery store or deli. Easy to ignore the fact that beer is no longer just beer. Without question, no other type of alcohol has seen more change over the last 150 years than beer. 100% agree. It is impossible to note the contribution of every beer throughout American history, but here we start pre-prohibition with household name synonymous with American beer. All right, these are the most 25 important, and this is from Vine Pair, and I'm going to throw this on the Facebook page. These are the most
important beers to America.
The history, developing the flavors. What is the first beer that they mention on this list? Beer, important to America.
Is this list in chronological order?
It is not. Maybe it is.
Let me that they mention on this list that's the most important.
Oh. Okay, it is.
I know the oldest active brewery is Yuengling. Is that the most important American brewery? Probably not. I mean, half the country doesn't even know about it. Man. Anheuser-Busch. Budweiser.
1876. Anheuser-Busch owned Budweiser, claimed the crown of the first nationally distributed beer. So I'm glad that you eliminated, regional beers. Nearly 150 years ago, by means of pasteurization and innovation, refrigerated railroad cars. Nowadays, AB forms part of the world's largest brewing company.
But they're not American anymore.
World's largest brewing company. That's where they...
Yeah. Are they Chinese now?
Yeah. South African, is that?
South Africa? I don't know.
Okay. Still remains the king of beers. Okay, number 2. I'll give you a hint, since you're going chronologically. This beer was the 1970s.
This beer was the 1970s. That's my only clue. The second most important beer in America.
No, well, just chronologically. 1970s. So we're skipping
many beers from the 70s.
America.
We're skipping America.
Okay, can I give you another hint?
Yeah, I would love it.
This beer inspired Smokey and the Bandit.
I've seen this movie, which is makes it sadder. Smokey and the Bandit. They were big on Pabst. No, Schlitz. Maybe Miller.
Two regional.
All right, let me think for a second. Just 1 second. God, Smokey and the Bandit. Yeah, I have it on the tip of my tongue.
Chuggalos from home, we call this beer the pork chop in a can. If you know, I've referenced it before.
You have. I've heard this statement.
Pork chop in a can.
What it is, I'm going to guess it's... fucking... Don't know.
Coors Banquet.
Coors. Yeah. Coors.
Garnered a cult following, before the craft beer line culture. In the late 1970s, until the late 1970s, it was available in just 11 states. Back then, enjoying one of these east of the Mississippi meant paying more than 4 times the retail value, thus smoking the Bandit.
Or going to Colorado for fucking water.
Okay. This is where you need to ignore one of my earlier rules.
I will. I'll ignore it.
This was
tipping is not allowed.
1973.
1973. It's not chronological.
Well, 1970s, 1973, we're getting more specific.
All right. 1970. That's my clue.
1973 and light beers now claim the top 3 spots for best-selling American beers.
Yeah.
This is one of them.
This is one of them? Miller
Light. Miller Lite did invent the light beer, nor indeed did it even invent Miller Lite, but it did pave the way for a low-calorie, low-alcohol beer.
It didn't invent Miller Lite.
With its 1973 successful ad campaign targeting beefy, burly men, an even more successful national launch in 75. So it wasn't nationally launched until 75.
Oh, speaking of beefy, burly men, I got a call from the Brawny people. They want us to stop talking about the Brawny man.
We have got a cease and desist order from
Don't talk about the Brawny man anymore. He will kill you with an X. All right. So there was concern about the brawniness of men, the bulkiness.
Bulkiness.
So light beer became popular.
Yep.
I don't like that when I said bulkiness, you looked down. You looked me up and down. Mm-hmm. You were like, yeah, you're pretty bulky there, buddy.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say you're definitely more than I am. Like,
more.
That's
drink
why
more light beer.
That's why I cover up the pipe cleaners.
I only wore this shirt because it's an election shirt.
Ooh, it is. And that you have more muscle than me. But anyways, the 4th beer, it's going to be a very difficult one unless you're up on your Matt trivia.
I am.
Matt audibly hates this beer. It's from a brewer that associates themselves with San Francisco.
Oh, I don't know many brewers that associate with San Francisco. Maxwell House Coffee.
Okay, the other thing is, I will say it's common.
It's a common beer.
Common is in the beer name.
Oh.
Common is in the...
It's in the beer name. Common.
Okay, you're a Navy guy.
I never went to San Francisco.
The 2 terms for this beer is 2 naval terms.
2 naval terms.
I'll give you a hint.
Beer.
I'm gonna get you there.
Let's keep going.
What stops a boat?
Hints. What?
What stops a boat?
What stops a boat? The anchor.
Yep. And then what powers old boats?
What powers old boats? Steam. Anchor steam.
Anchor steam.
Never heard of it.
California Common.
California Common. Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that.
Anchor Brewing Liberty Ale, 1975. Wow. Terrible beer. You don't
Anchor
even. Apparently, you're important.
I like those hints though. Those hints were really good. Really good.
Okay. You're gonna love this next hint.
I will.
What mountain range is in California but is named for another state?
Oh, Sierra Nevada.
Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, 1980.
Wow, 1980. Very good for them.
Piney, citrusy flavors made a star in American hoppy ales. Its profile is hardly groundbreaking, but by 2020 standards, it was unprecedented when the Pale Ale launched in 1980, before we were born.
Technically, the Pale Ale
Cobra was 47 when
in like 1600.
Yeah.
They just redid it.
So, what big company decided to do a diet beer?
Diet beer. So it was called Diet.
Nope.
It was called Light.
Blank, blank, blank.
Blank, blank, blank. Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Blank let Miller Lite take care of the heavy lifting for diet beer, then introduced this in 1982. And we did this first can on the can...
can guessing.
Can sales. 1982.
1982.
This is like... Hogan versus Andre, the irresistible force versus the immovable object. These are the two biggest names. You have Miller Lite, which I've already given you, and then this.
Miller Lite. I mean, Bud Light.
Bud Light.
The other one. But
Bud
you said
Light.
blank, blank, blank.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking
it's
3.
just blank, blank, blank. Okay. The next beer, and we're going to end this. We're not going to go through all 25. This was... I'll just name it. Tim Cook.
Apple. Tim Cook. Apple CEO.
Oh, sorry. Jim Cook. Sorry.
Oh,
Tim.
Jim Cook.
Yeah.
Jim Cook.
Jim Cook.
Cook? Is he Sam Adams?
Sam Adams. Sam Adams, Boston Lager, 1985.
Boston Lager. That is an important beer. It's the beer that gave way to me not giving a shit about Sam Adams.
And this is the first I've never heard of.
Okay.
It's a seasonal one.
All right. I know this one.
Who is the antagonist in Silence of the Lambs that's not Hannibal Lecter?
It's not Hannibal. Buffalo Bill.
Buffalo Bill's Brewery, America's original pumpkin ale.
Really shitty brewery name. That guy, he was weird.
We're gonna do 2 more.
2 more.
2 more.
I'll get them. I'm doing all right.
Okay. This one is from Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
And it would describe a feature on your bicycle.
Or describe a feature on your bicycle.
1991.
Bells.
Bells is from Michigan.
Bummer. That's a bicycle feature.
It is. But I said Colorado.
Fat tire.
Fat tire. And the last one, and the reason why I'm stopping on this
I
one.
don't know that Fat Tire's impact on American beer is as great as being what was that, 10, 11?
It's just going chronological. I would say it has a place in the history because it
has a place in the history,
OG.
but I don't know that it's on the list. Up top. Anything.
It's Fat Tire demands recognition for being the first nationally available carbon neutral beer.
All right. Fair enough.
Okay, the last one.
Yeah.
Bum bum bum.
I'm ready. This is number...
And we're coming up. We're in November.
15.
This beer is brewed once a year and is made available on Black Friday.
Only on Black Friday. Oh, man.
I like this beer. You guys do not care for this beer.
Oh, so is this the Bourbon Barrel, the Goose Island?
You got it!
It's on the list of America's most influential
1992,
beers?
yes.
That seems
pioneering
outrageous to me.
Goose Island introduced America to barrel-aged stouts before bourbon had even regained its popularity in its homeland.
Okay, well that changes things. They introduced bourbon barrel-aged beer.
Despite the brewery sale to Anheuser-Busch in 2011, the annual BCBS remains a fixture on craft beer calendars, as do its bottles on the secondary market,
I think
which is 100% accurate.
Did not do well.
I still have a bunch of it.
I think it didn't do well.
2018.
2018 did great. 2018 was probably like peak. But 2019, I think it floundered.
The other part that I have that I want to share is way too much to do now. I should post it because it's going to be a very reactionary type thing. It's all number crunching data stuff. It's fantastic. Okay. But what an episode. What a wild
That was wild. We did a lot about tipping. I'm shocked that Goose Island... I feel like we should have addressed this much earlier. Goose Island invented the bourbon barrel aged beer,
which is
they're the OGs. Things. That changes things because I thought all this time, as much as I don't like it, that they were just kind of piggybacking on a trend, from years ago.
Oh yeah,
that they fucking made the trend.
I never got that.
That's different.
To think that next year will be the 30th anniversary of it.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, kudos to them. I shit on you all the time.
I don't like Goose Island stuff.
I've been to Goose Island's
312 is a terrible beer.
And I never really enjoyed it. The food wasn't even that good. There's one on, I don't know if it's still there. It was a long time ago, across from Wrigley Field.
Is that the one up in Boys Town?
It's not quite in Boys Town. It's by the Metro, which is a great music place to go. If you guys ever want to...
I'm trying to think.
Smashing Pumpkins actually did their last 3 concerts at the Metro. Great venue. But there's a Goose Island on the 2nd floor of another facility right near Wrigley Field. It just didn't do it for me. But the bourbon barrel stuff, I just don't get. I still have one from 2018 in my fridge. Probably should have done it not cold. But it's still closed.
Well, that's fine. I mean, that temperature variance, whether it's 35.
My new house has
55,
a cellar, so I'm going to use that.
And it'll be a great place to age stuff. You know,
so I'll use that. But never understood it. But now knowing that they invented that medium for beer, that
before bourbon
genre,
picked up,
that's pretty impressive. Yeah. I'll admit that. Impressive. But we also talked about tipping. Talked about families.
And that was the first, if you're talking about the 25 beers, according to this, this article, and again, on the Vine, I'll post it on our Facebook. That's the first, real experimentation beer. Not sours or anything like that.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us would be surprised on that. But
well, sours come from spontaneous fermentation.
Right.
Whereas bourbon barrel, you have to sit on that shit for years.
Yeah. You have to...
months to years.
Gambling. You're
so
rolling
it's
the dice.
Lot different.
Yeah.
It's much riskier. They took a risk. And it paid off.
And to be a big, because there's apologies to the smaller, craft places that didn't have the distribution that these beers did.
Yeah.
But besides that Buffalo Bill's Pumpkin Ale.
Buffalo Bill.
They're all beers that I've had in the last year.
She a great big fat lady.
Sure, a great big fat person. I love that line.
Yeah.
But
yep, that was good. Well, Chris, I hope you catch your deer. Yeah.
We haven't got anything. We haven't got an update, but
no updates.
No updates.
You probably have an extra space force, but it's Pilsner. It's gone.
It's Pilsner, yeah. He didn't let me know about the chocolate lava cake stout either. Said he was going.
Oh yeah, he said he was going to let you know.
Disappointment.
Well, we'll have to ask.
Yeah,
he probably loved it.
No idea, but GT, take us home.
There's a good chance that Chris had sex with that can, and that is episode 112 of the Brew Crew podcast. If you want to sponsor this podcast, just do it. Send us money, and we'll read your shit on here. That's it. Happy voting, and bye.